Welcome to another exciting episode of On Deck with Anchor. Today we'll be talking about open banking, and I have none other but Shegun with me. Hi Shegun.
Hi Esther.
How you doing?
I'm very well.
All right, great. So I want us to talk about open banking because I know in March the CBN released like a guideline for open banking in Nigeria. So I want you to just go back to the basics. What is open banking and how can this impact the fintech ecosystem in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you. So open banking is a fintech concept that basically allows third parties to have access to financial data and services. Now, just to break this down, typically when you have a relationship with your bank, the traditional banks, the Zeniths and the likes, all your account data sits with them and no one else has access to that information. The idea behind open banking is such that other providers who need that information to be able to provide access to financial services for customers can have access to it. But of course, for them to have access to it, the customers need to give their own permission. So the idea behind how will this process work, whereby traditional financial institutions can, with the permission of the customer, give access to that data and that information that they have about that customer to other third parties. And why this is important is because your financial data is a very, very rich resource. That basically can help improve your financial life as a customer. So there are a lot of products, financial products, that are not possible without access to that information. So the whole idea of open banking is around driving innovation and also driving more competition within the financial space by leveraging data. So that's the idea behind the whole thing. Now, in terms of the ways fintechs can take advantage of open banking, it's basically first, they'll be able to build better products. And I'll give you an example. If you wanted to build a credit product, you need to know the affordability, the credit history. What does this person buy? How do you get access to that information? Open banking makes that possible in a seamless way, in a way that is not, it cannot be easily abused.
I get you.
That's the whole
When
idea.
you say in a way that it cannot be easily abused, I want us to zone in on that because GDPR, NDPR, data is very tricky. And in as much as there may be guidelines, some people might abuse this data. So I'm very curious to how that can be addressed.
Absolutely. So data is a sensitive part of the whole, just like you rightly said, there's a lot of laws around data. So the idea behind the guideline is to talk about the way data will be shared between the banks and the third parties. The amount of permission and the modalities of that permission that is required from the customer. So typically today, that data is being transferred through APIs. APIs are, ways to transfer information.
What's the full meaning of API?
Application programming interfaces.
Great.
So it is a very smooth and digital way to transfer information seamlessly between one party to another. So that's typically how that is being done. Before now, there are hacks and ways people try to find around it. But now that there's a guideline, so it's now easier for the fintechs that need access to that data to be able to go to the banks, request the APIs, and connect.
With the permission of the customer.
It is when they implement the APIs that then, when they are now about to use it, they now need to get the permission of the customer for them to be able to fetch that data from the bank. So the modalities that guide all of that is basically what open banking is. And it makes it possible to have credit products, a lot of personal financial applications. So if you want to do like a budgeting app today,
it makes the way I spend my money, the way I save.
So if you have multiple bank accounts, open banking makes it possible to pull from those different banks.
So like you're using your BVN?
Exactly. So using your BVN is one of the channels through which access can be given. So you can pull from different banks and then you can have a unified personal budget or personal finance app. But that is not possible without
data.
And data access is what open banking, well, not just data, there's some financial services part, like the credit part, but at the core of it, what led to the concept in the first place is around seamless sharing of financial information.
Great. I think this is really insightful. You know, when we hear open banking, first thing that comes to your mind is the bank open? I'm just joking, but yeah. But thank you for that insight, Segun. That's really lovely. I think with this guideline, fintechs and innovative companies, startups can leverage on open banking to build financial products for the everyday Nigerian to significantly improve and impact their life. Thank you, and that's it on today's episode of On Deck with Anchor. See you next time. Bye.